They call me a monster, but monsters are made, not born. What would you become if the world punished you for simply existing? Some names are cursed before they are even spoken. Some stories are twisted before they are ever told. Medusa, was she a nightmare, or was she a warning? A villain, or a victim? The world remembers her as the monster with serpents for hair, but what if the real monsters were the ones who made her? Welcome to Inner Cosmos, where we unravel the deepest truths hidden in shadows. Before Medusa became a name that struck fear, she was something else, a woman, a mortal among immortals. A priestess of Athena. A being of breathtaking beauty. But in the world of gods and men, beauty is a double-edged sword. Medusa's beauty was not a gift. It was a curse waiting to unfold. In the grand halls of Athena's temple, she was not just admired, she was watched, stalked by the eyes of gods, who took what they wanted, without consequence. And one god wanted her more than any other. Poseidon. The earth shaker. The lord of the sea. A god who was never denied. One night, inside the sacred temple of Athena, Medusa's fate was sealed. Power met powerlessness. The predator met the prey, and history was never the same. Poseidon did what gods of Olympus often did, he took Medusa's virginity. And when he was done, he left. No remorse. No justice. But the gods do not punish gods. They punish the ones who cannot fight back. And so, Athena, the goddess, Medusa had served faithfully. Did not seek vengeance against Poseidon, she turned to Medusa. Because it is easier to blame the victim than to challenge the powerful. With a single touch, Athena cursed Medusa. Her radiant beauty became her eternal prison. Her flowing hair twisted into hissing serpents. Her eyes, once full of life, became weapons of death. One moment, she was a woman. The next, she was a monster. But was she? Or was she simply made into one, by those who refused to see the truth? Medusa's transformation was not just a punishment. It was a message. A warning. A twisted display of power. But what was Athena's true intention? Was she punishing Medusa? Or was she protecting her? Think about it. Before the curse, Medusa was defenseless. After the curse, no man could ever hurt her again. What if Athena knew that justice in Olympus was a lie? That Poseidon would never face consequences? That the only way to keep Medusa safe was to make her untouchable? It was not mercy. It was survival. Because the world does not protect the powerless, it fears the powerful. But Medusa's power came with a price. She was forced into exile. Cast away to the farthest edges of the world, where no man could find her, except those who wanted to kill her. Warriors, heroes, kings, all wanting to prove their strength by defeating the monster. But they did not see her. Not really, they saw only a challenge. A prize. A trophy. None of them stopped to ask, was Medusa truly evil? Or was she simply fighting to survive in a world that had already decided her fate? And then came Perseus. The man who would end it all. Every great myth needs a hero, and in this story, that hero was Perseus. The son of Zeus. A demigod destined for greatness. A warrior on a quest to bring back Medusa's head. Not for justice, not for vengeance, but for power. A king demanded it, and Perseus obeyed. He did not question whether Medusa deserved to die. He did not wonder if she was truly the monster they claimed. He was told to slay her, and so he did. Armed with divine gifts, a mirrored shield from Athena, winged sandals from Hermes, a sword sharp enough to cut through anything. He set out to kill a woman who had never wronged him. And when he found her, she was not hunting. She was sleeping. In the darkness of her exile, with no one left to trust, Medusa had lived in solitude, hurting no one. But the world does not allow women like Medusa to exist in peace. With one clean strike, Perseus took her head. Her blood spilled onto the earth. And from it was born Pegasus, the winged horse. Even in death, Medusa gave life. But did anyone ever ask, was she truly a monster? Or was she simply in the way of men's ambitions? Because let's be honest, Medusa did not terrorize Greece. She did not raise armies or burn cities. She did not seek revenge against those who wronged her, she only wanted to be left alone. Yet the world would not allow that. They turned her into a villain, and when the so-called hero arrived, they celebrated her death, not questioning if the real monster had already won. But even in death, Medusa was not truly gone. Because legends do not die. They transform. Medusa died that night. But her story didn't. Her severed head became a weapon. A tool. A trophy. Perseus used it to turn his enemies to stone. To solidify his legacy. To prove his power. And yet, who was the real victor? Because even in death, Medusa's face held power. Even after being slain, she was feared. Even in silence, she still had a voice. A woman they could not control. A force they could not erase. And so, the world tried to redefine her. Over centuries, she became a warning. A symbol of terror. A cautionary tale about the dangers of defiance. But here's the truth they don't tell you. Medusa was never the villain. She was the revolution. A woman punished for surviving, a woman whose strength made men tremble. A woman whose existence alone was enough to rewrite myths and challenge power. That is why her image has endured. You see it on ancient armor, worn by warriors who feared what they could not defeat. You see it in modern feminism, where Medusa has become an emblem of resistance. Because she was never just a monster. She was a mirror. A reflection of every woman who has been silenced, every survivor who has been blamed, every outcast who has been rewritten as a villain, because the world was afraid of their power. And that's why Medusa still haunts us. Not because she was a creature to fear, but because deep down, we know, she was never the monster. She was the misunderstood victim. And the real monsters, they were the ones who wrote her story. Medusa's story should have ended the night she died. But some stories refuse to stay buried, because Medusa was never just a myth. She was a warning. A mirror reflecting the world's deepest truths. The fear of powerful women, the rewriting of history, the silencing of voices that refused to conform. And though they tried to erase her, she became something unstoppable. Her face, once cursed, became a symbol. Her name, once feared, became a battle cry. She became a force greater than the men who tried to destroy her. Because legends are not written by the strongest. They are written by the survivors. And Medusa? She survived, not in body, but in story. Not in voice, but in symbol. She is here. In every woman who refuses to bow. In every soul that rises after being broken. In every outcast who reclaims their power. She is proof that even when the world tries to bury you, tries to silence you, tries to rewrite your story, you can rise. You can take back your power. And Medusa? She is immortal.